All right, welcome back to the Straight Red Card. No cuisine references this time. It's a straight up show, super serious, no jokes, no kidding. We are serious.
Unless my kid comes out again.
Unless your youngster comes out again with his he speaks Danish really well, actually. So let's just start from the top. Player rankings. Stefan. I'll let you go for it. We'll go back and forth on first and seconds. I'll start actually because I gave him a C plus. So everybody knows we use grades. I know other shows use 1 through 10.
I did both in all honesty because I wasn't sure which route we'd go. Probably something we could have communicated with beforehand, but whatever.
Well, no, we used grades last time on the show. I know we haven't done this for a long time.
It's been a bit, yeah.
Yeah, but we use grades. So I gave him a C plus. I thought that was rather nice. I didn't think he'd make any huge mistakes, but I didn't think he was really good with his feet. Definitely not a B. And if somebody gave him a C minus, I'd be perfectly willing to accept that as well.
Well, I gave him a B minus.
Really?
Yeah, and quite frankly, it's just simply because outside of the kicks that drifted out of bounds, I felt he was perfectly fine. He made a couple of key saves. He was a presence in the box. It's just his distribution lacked. I wouldn't have objected if it was officially a C plus, or even a C. You can make an argument for a C if you really focus on the distribution aspects. But I thought he had, outside of that, I thought he played pretty well.
He gave me heartburn when he had the ball at his feet. So that's why I took him down to a C plus instead of a B minus. And I'd like you to be my teacher when I take in the next class, because I think you gave him a little lift there. All right.
It's a pretty hefty curve.
Tim Ream. I just gave him a C. Oof. I thought Tim Ream was Tim Ream. How could you expect any more from him? He was who he was, and he was slow foot, but you should have known that before you put him in the lineup. Tim Ream was just Tim Ream. I give him a C.
But yeah, I gave him a D plus because he was constantly exposed. Not saying that he could have done much. He could have done stuff differently, but he overcommitted a number of times. And quite frankly, I thought Brooks did that a couple times too. He would overcommit to one side and Mexico would just go around the other side. But I thought Ream was constantly out of being pulled one way or another and just overcommitted. And then he got burned a lot of the time. So I didn't think it was definitely not a good game for him, but I don't know.
But didn't he have Des? Didn't he have Des right next to him?
Who? No. There's no Des on the field, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, Des played left wing back.
No, Des wasn't on the play. He wasn't on the field. I don't think he showed up to this game.
That's my point. He started at left wing back and supposed to help Tim out on that side, and he didn't.
At that point, stop overcommitting to one side then, because there was a number of times where he would overcommit to the right to try to get to the ball, and the Mexican player would just turn to the left and move on.
But Tim Ream early on made some good steals and whatever. I don't know.
Stick with my D plus.
All right, D plus versus my C. We move to John Brooks, who played almost the whole game after 10 minutes on a yellow card. I'm giving Tim Ream.
Nope.
John Brooks. I'm giving him an A minus. I thought in the air, defensively, he was fantastic. Was he perfect again? No. That's why he doesn't get an A plus. I'm giving him an A minus. I think he was really good, and I think he's the core of that back three if we use a back three going forward.
Sure, absolutely. I had mentioned that there were a couple of times where he overcommitted to one side as well and got burned. At that point, if you get burned, he's not the most fleetest of foot to get back. So I gave him a B plus because again he was instrumental in the back three, and he did a lot of great plays, which is why I was leaning more towards the B plus.
Okay, B plus it is, yeah.
So I was just
Okay, I'm gonna let you start with Yedlin.
I gave Yedlin a B minus.
Okay.
I thought his energy and fire was nice to have on the pitch. something we lacked with Cannon in the past.
Yep.
And he didn't take any shit from the Mexican players. He was always up in their faces. He'd go in for some hard crunching tackles. He didn't get up into the attack horrible amount of times. So maybe he was supposed to sit back further. I don't know, but he didn't get much into the attack. But I mean, as far as defense is concerned, I don't think he really made any glaring issues.
No, I think you're right. I gave him a B, and as Filippo said, McKenny and he were dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Dogs. DAWGS. Dogs. They were dogs. They were dogs that we needed for this fight until he got cramps. I thought Yedlin was solid as a rock, and I would not be surprised if we saw Dest on the left and Yedlin on the right going forward.
After last night's game, who knows about Dest?
If Dest continues to play like a twerp, then you're going to see Robinson, who saw no playing time in this game, on the left and Yedlin on the right. Yedlin basically turned around. He didn't do this, but his performance said to Cannon and anybody else vying for that right back spot, I'm the man. Okay?
He was a seasoned veteran outside of Ream.
I may not be the most technical player in the world, but damn it, I'm reliable and I care and I'm a fighter. That's what Yedlin said.
Like I said, that fire is what drew me for him. That was impressive to see.
Yeah. Yeah. McKenzie, listen, I would have given him a C minus, but that glaring error took me down to a D plus.
He had a number of easy passes that he could have made that he was lax on, that he ended up passing it straight to a opposing player, or he made it so lax that the opposing player could jump in there and grab it.
Yep.
But I do agree that there were other parts of the game where he did well. I think he definitely has promise, and maybe that was just a fluke of a game for him. And I initially had a C minus on there, but as we were talking about the other defenders, I just changed it to a D plus as well. Actually, it's just
all right.
Those glaring laxed passes will come back to bite us in the butt, and it did once in the 40th second.
Yeah, I know. My mom's like, "Should I just go to sleep?"
Dude, did you see after that mistake? There was a play where Brooks had the ball. He could have made the easy pass to McKenzie, but decided to turn around and make a pass to somebody that had a little more pressure on him. I'm not saying that was on purpose by any means, but maybe there was something in the back of his mind to say, "Geez, this guy needs to work out his nerves for a second."
Yeah, I mean, McKenzie certainly, on your point, looked like a guy who was saying, "Oh my God, holy Jesus! Oh my God, holy shit! What the fuck? Oh my God!" Like that's how he.
Yeah. Again, he had some nice plays too, and he had a decent chance on a corner. There was some good there, but his mistakes were just so glaring that it required a poor grade, quite frankly.
The first 30 minutes looked like what I was just doing earlier. Oh dear, oh my God, oh, that's what he looked like to me on the field. But the credit, to give him credit, he could have totally fallen apart after that error in the early game, and he didn't. After that, he just sort of evolved.
It's that fire and grit that we talked about in the first segment that the team showed. Determination to come back and make it a game.
He did not fall into a black hole and disappear. He decided, hey, that happened. And
everybody has bad games.
He was devastated when it happened.
Oh,
Yes, he was devastated. But he came back. I love that in a player who makes a huge error and says, you know what? I'm going to suck it up. I'm going to probably play like a little shriveling, gnome for the next 20 minutes because I'm really freaking out still that I made that mistake. But then he calmed down and he got better progressively during the game. Okay, good for you, Mark McKenzie. I'm going to let you do Dest.
Who?
Dest. Did he play?
Seriously though, what's the grade there? I felt that for the most part, anytime he had the ball, we talked about this too. He either tried to do too much or his passes weren't there. I didn't go back to rewatch the game, but I'm not 100% positive that a single pass actually made was to our players.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were. I'm being a little bit exaggerating here, but no, I'm gonna stick. I'm giving him a D.
Okay. You know,
Might be lenient there.
I think he might be. I mean, he's on Barcelona, and I think he's pretty full of himself right now, and he needs to get over that because arrogance is a hard pill to swallow. You cannot believe that you're above this game. And I did not see an attitude there and an effort there that told me this is a guy who was hell bent, like everybody else ended up being later in the game. And it's not like he didn't get a lot of time. He got 60 minutes, and even Greg said, nah. That's enough for you.
Yeah.
You're done. You're basically substituting out on paper one of the best players on your team because his effort sucked. That's bad. I gave him a D minus. I will do Acosta. This is a tough one because he had a lot of errors, especially in the first half, playing the holding midfield role. But he then was shifted back to left back when Ream went out, and I loved his effort. I mean, he was not clinical, he was not technical, but he gave his all. Sure. And you know what? I got to give him a bonus for that. And, we've given Acosta a lot of shit on this show, but he gave at least a C+ performance. I boasted it from a C- to a C+ just because of his effort.
Yeah, my notes literally are just sloppy passes, sloppy decisions, but he did a nice job of covering that left back.
Yep.
I gave him a C+ as well, actually.
Nice. I love it when we come together. I'm going to give you Pulisic. You start on Pulisic.
Oof. Yeah, Pulisic. Well, I mean, this is tough. I mean, he had what is it, 120 minutes of gameplay to be judged upon. And for the first 70 minutes, he was a ghost. He was. Not that he did anything wrong. I mean, he may have done some wrong, but I'm not saying he was not like he was a bad player on the pitch. He just wasn't on the pitch.
No, he didn't get the ball.
Yeah. So, like I mentioned in the previous show, once Reina got subbed off, all of a sudden Pulisic woke up and he was there. And he was a focal point of our attack at that point. Now, mind you, the attack kind of wavered moving forward. There were some options we had, but he drew the PK. He nailed the PK, and he took all the corner kicks. God, all of our corner kicks were on spot.
That PK, by the way, was badass.
Oh yeah, that was confidence exuding from him.
Yes,
he's like, I know where I'm placing it, and I'm gonna nail it there. You can't stop it. Don't even try.
And you brought up the corner kicks. Wasn't it so refreshing to have actual professionals like Reina and Pulisic? And when I say actual professionals, playing at a high level in Europe, take the corner kicks instead of Leggett and Acosta.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Greg! What took you so long? All right. No Greg bad stuff right now. Okay.
All right. Grading though for Pulisic, I gave him a B+.
I gave him a B.
Yeah.
And I probably should have jacked that up to a B+ because of the whisper, the shh. And you know what? I will.
The nerve of going over to where all the Mexico fans were instead of going over to the American side.
I gave him a B, but because of the shh, I'm going with you. I'm going B+. All right. I'll take McKennie. McKennie was a dog, as Filippo likes to say. And he started out slow. The game evolved. He evolved. He became a dog. He was a leader. He was in the scrum when the scrums happened. And, of course, he scored. So you got to give him something for that, right?
Giving him an assist, too, in all honesty.
Yes, a half assist at least. I mean,
give him some credit for that.
I'm giving McKennie A B plus, just to an A minus. I'm gonna move it up to an A minus. A minus. A minus.
For about 110 minutes, McKinney was my man of the match.
Yep.
He controlled the midfield. There were some early on in the game. It wasn't any one person. It was a whole team that was just sort of getting pummeled by Mexico. But about 20, well, actually, once Reina scored, at that point the game changed. But McKinney controlled the midfield. I thought he got 3 heads to corner kicks. One of resulted in a goal. One resulted in a post ball that resulted in a goal, and then one resulted in a nice save by Ochoa.
Yep.
I gave him an A.
Okay.
Again, he was my man of the match up till a certain point of the game.
You're an easier grader than me, but I can live with an A.
I'm a McKinney fan, so I've always been a little more lenient with him, especially since he's on Juve.
No, man, you don't have to defend that. I get it. I mean, listen, I was this close to giving me an A too. Except the first half, he was anyhow. Yeah, wasn't really there as much.
Maybe first half of a half, you can make the argument, but I don't know about the second half of the half.
Well, yeah. All right. So Gio Reyna, I'm gonna let you do that. Let's.
Okay, yeah, sure. Quite frankly, Reyna was our best attacking player on the pitch, hands down. He created everything. He checked back into the defense. He was in our box quite a bit. You know, he put in the effort. I gave him an A as well, actually.
I did too.
Got the goal, so I gave him an A.
I gave him an A. I mean, can you not see that he is challenging Pulisic at this point as the best player on this team?
Filippo actually flat out stated that he is better than Pulisic.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he was fantastic. He was the player of the tournament for me.
Yep.
So I gave him an A as well. I think he would have gotten an A plus if you would have left him in a little longer, Greg.
God, way to take the man of the match away from him now.
But you know, Reyna was fantastic, and I can't take it away from him. I'll do Sargent then. Sargent C minus. I just thought, nah, this is a below average performance for him again, which is not good. Again, you know, Josh has got to find some confidence, find a new club, go back to Europe, get his confidence back. It just wasn't what we needed, and I still love him. I hope he makes it. I believe in him, and I'm not giving up on him at all. But we needed more there, and we didn't get it. And that could have been partially Greg's fault too. So
yeah, I will give my grade and then my description. I gave him a C, and I stand firm that he was checking too far back. Whether or not that was to get the ball or what, but he didn't have enough presence in the box. And again, that could be a Greg issue. This formation, I can't tell you how many times I saw where Sargent was pushed back further than Reyna and Pulisic, and yet Pulisic playing it. They had those two playing more of striker positions throughout the game.
Yeah,
and I don't know if it was more of a concern to try to get the ball to Sargent so he can hold onto it and do something, but it wasn't working. And quite frankly, we need him poaching around that box. We don't need him to do all the dirty work for our team. We have a lot of players who can fill in the dirty work. We're not Bremen. He doesn't need to be that much of a workhorse. Keep him up by the box.
Yeah, I mean, at times I thought he was like a CAM. I didn't think he was even a center forward. Seriously.
And again, that could be a Sargent issue, or that could be a Berhalter issue. I don't know. I don't know the inner workings of Berhalter's mind clearly, since I can't predict the freaking lineup.
I don't think you track that far back that often without it being told
to do so.
Yeah.
Check back, get the ball, etc. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah. I don't think you do that unless you've been told to do that. So, all right. Did I do? Yeah, I did Sargent first. So it's you with Weah.
I gave Weah a B. he had his energy and his pace that he brought into the game. He was a very direct style right striker. He dribbled at the attack and created a couple opportunities. Yeah, I gave him a B.
Yeah, I gave him a C plus. I mean, it's all the things you said. I think he like if C is average, C plus is like he's almost a B minus.
Slightly
So
above average. Yeah.
yeah, I gave him a C plus.
Well, and we also have to remember, and I don't just breaking off in tangent, but we also have to remember that at some point, like especially when Reina got subbed off, our attack dwindled a bit as a whole. And
it did.
And you put in somebody like we're going to talk about PFOC here in a bit or Wea, and the attack presence just wasn't quite there. But that's getting a bit off topic here. So
no, but you're right to point it out. And we'll get to that when we get to legit.
Yeah.
Siabatu, I guess it's my my turn. All right, Siabatu, I gave him a C minus. I thought he was worse. He came in and looked no better than Sargent, so I gave him a C minus.
I gave Sargent a C. I'm giving PFOC a C. No difference. Again,
okay.
PFOC checked back a little too far. He had no presence in the box. Simple as that.
I thought he was worse than Sargent, so that's why I gave him C minus.
Well, he had less time. He had less time, so maybe that was the case. But yeah, and again, our attack was not there. But again, I don't know. I saw a lot of the similarities. Maybe it is a Berhalter issue here. But both of our strikers got C's, in my opinion.
I don't think our nines are as bad as everybody is making them out to be. I think it's just the system. Yeah. But that's a whole nother show. Actually, I gave Sargent a C minus, so I actually should give Siabatu a D plus. Yeah, I'm just going to keep them both at C minus.
I was going to say D plus seems a little harsh.
Yeah, it's not fair because anyhow, what we talked about. How about Horvath, Brett? That's on you, baby.
Horvath got my A plus.
Yeah,
I mean, he made a lot of key saves, especially the PK. The only thing he didn't save was the second goal, and that was blind. It was a blind shot. There's nothing he could have done for that. So there's nothing bad I could say about Horvath in this game.
Yeah, it's very hard to give an A plus. So I just gave him an A because I'm an ex teacher, and so. Yeah, I have a hard time giving A pluses, but I thought he was pretty close to an A plus.
I guess the only thing that you could say if he would have gotten an A plus is if he would have stopped that second goal, because at that point there's nothing wrong he did.
No,
not saying the goal was his fault by any means, but anything that went near him, if he would have stopped that second goal, it would have been perfect. But again, I gave him an A plus because he was my man of the match.
Yeah, I still gave him A, and I thought he was man of the match too. So
a lot of the man of the matches went to McKinney. Still, I don't know how that worked out.
You not, but I think we gave McKinney an A's in the A area, sure. Right?
Well, again, McKinney had the entire game. He had a great game, but when I'm thinking, now mind you, he also scored. He had the half assist, if you will, to Reina, so you can make that argument, but. The game's tied, or the game we're up by 1, and it would have gone to PKs otherwise. Horvath came up massive. I just don't understand how you cannot give it to him.
Yeah,
what a story.
I know he's from Denver. I saw his interview on ESPN, and it was like English was his second language, so he's been speaking way too much Dutch, as they do in the northern part of Belgium, and His English is actually pretty rusty. It's amazing to me. But I get it. Once you go to a foreign country for a while, you and never speak English, you're start to forget how to speak English from someone who is a German American. I can attest to that. Okay, so I'll do legit. I'll do legit. I gave him a C. I didn't notice anything spectacular. I didn't notice anything that horrible. He lost some balls. I just gave him a C. I probably could give him a C minus. I just gave him a C.
Yeah, I gave him a C, and my description for him was He was a body on the field.
Yeah, a warm average body. Yeah.
What? I mean, come on.
Yeah. All right, I'll let you do Adams.
I gave Adams a B plus. His energy,
I gave him a B.
His energy and the ground he covered pushed it there for me. And now if he had more time and he continued playing that well, I think he could have pushed into A territory. But he did a lot of good.
The only reason I gave him a B was because his time was limited. Yeah. I probably would have boosted that up to a B plus, and I would be fine with that as well. So, but yeah, I just gave him a B. I thought he came in and was way better than average. Certainly better than Acosta as far as playing in front of the back four at that point, and just provided a nice warm security blanket for that back four.
You didn't have to add in. He was just better than Acosta. I mean, that's all you had to say.
Yeah, that's for sure. And lastly, I'll let you do Cannon.
I gave Cannon a C, and I said he was a body on the field.
Yep.
Not much to go on him. You know, he was there. You know,
he was a body on the field, just like Legit. So they both get C's.
Yeah.
I gave him a C too. Wasn't much there.
Nope.
Much else. Anything to add on this conversation?
Yeah. What about Berhalter?
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like if we're going to do players, let's do the tactics too here.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. I battled all day between giving him a C plus and a B minus, and I think I'm gonna give him a C plus. Like I think it was a C being average. I think he was a little better than average.
Yeah.
I thought he was a little slow on the Ream addition. I thought, why not Musa instead of Legit? I thought a lot of weird things about his subs. And I thought that, I just thought, just generally picking Siabatu and Sargent and not bringing in DK, who was there for the celebrations, by the way. I thought DK should have been on this team, and that it would have made life easier for us to have DK on the field for that last 30 and then overtime than Siabatu. So I'm still just giving him a C plus. I think it was a little over average, and that's good because I don't usually rate Greg better than a C. So he gets a C plus. There's still a lot of questions about him, and those questions are fair. Those people that are totally diehard Berhalter fans, and I know a couple of them, I'm not sure what you're watching, but you got to give Greg the credit for winning the trophy.
So you made a lot of points that almost convinced me to change my grade. But I want to be a little bit lenient here and give him a gold, not gold star, maybe a bronze star or something like that. A star for adapting. So he came in with a formation that he thought was going to best suit us against Mexico.
That's
maybe
true.
Not necessarily pick the best players to start.
Yeah.
Maybe it took him a moment to bring in certain players to change how the formation is set up. But he adapted on the fly. And again, maybe it was a little slower than it needed to be, but he still adapted. He didn't just try to squeeze that square peg into the round hole, you know? He was finally trying to adjust, and especially once Tata made his adjustment, Berhalter made his adjustment. And it worked. During that time frame, Tata's adjustment scored, but Berhalter eventually made the decision that helped not necessarily nullify it, but at least keep it under check. So I gave him a B minus.
You know what? I would have given him a B minus had he subbed out Tim Ream before Lana scored.
Sure.
But
you made a lot of good points, and I have a B minus on here, and I was tempted to change it to C plus because I was agreeing with everything you were saying. But I kind of want to give him a pat on the back because I know he's a longtime listener of our show. And I want him to know that we appreciate the fact that he is adjusting his tactics and not just forcing it. No means no, Greg. No, mean no. Come on.
And I could have given him the B minus just for his great dodgeball throw and his defense on the sidelines.
Yeah. Again, we'll be talking about that coming up here in a second. But I like how that made both segments before we actually talk about it.
All right. Until the next time on the Straight Red Card, I don't know, go smoke a doobie or something. All right. Good night.